So very good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss the next topic is feature selection. In the previous class we have already done about feature extraction. In that we discussed the principal component analysis. Then we can say eigenvalue, eigenvectors and the example of principal component analysis also we discussed. So today we are going to mainly discuss about the feature selections, how we can select the features. In that, we are going to discuss mainly two topics. The one is the feature ranking. Ranking means we assign some value or some number by which we can differentiate among the different features. Suppose their particular features having the higher rank, it means it is a higher relative to our target. If someone's having some else features having the lower ranking, it means it related lesser to our target. Similarly, the next thing we will discuss about in this lecture is we can say subset selection. Subset selection is a process of feature selection. We already discussed that in the case of feature selection. So we will discuss Pratik about that after the class, okay? So when we are talking about the subset selection, in the case of subset selection, it's simply a definition of feature selection. When there is a features, lots of features in the database, and in that database we select some subset of the features, that is known as the feature selections, okay? So let me start. Today we briefly introduce, I will briefly introduce about the concept which we are going to discuss, and upcoming classes we discuss some mathematical portion and the coding portion. So let's begin. So it is our syllabus. We already discussed the feature extraction and today and then principal component analysis. Today and singular value decomposition we already discussed it. How we can decompose singular value, how we can analyze the principal component. Both two are very important topics as compared to your examination as well as industry. Then today we are going to discuss feature selection. In that feature ranking and subset selection, what is the definition of feature ranking, what is the subset selection, and what are the subtopic like a filter, then we can say wrapper and embedded methods. So today we discuss these all topics in the introductory part, and we also discuss some mathematical portion inside it, okay? So method of reduced dimensionality. We already know that if the database having the large number of dimension means features, variables, then it is very hard, or we can say it is hard to increase the performance. So it is takes a lot of space and lot of time to calculate the target values or something like that. So we reduce our dimension at the point where the effect of performance is not reduced. So there are two types. One we can say feature extraction and another one is a feature selection. We already discussed feature extraction. So today we are going to discuss about the feature selection and the theory behind the feature selection and the definition. We already discussed in the previous lecture that the feature selection method are the intended to reduce the number of input variables, those that are believed to be most useful to the model in the order of predict the target variables. So we just simply find the variables which are mostly used, or we can say higher rank. We discuss in the next slide. So suppose we have n number of features. In that n number of features, we select suppose k number of features. So k is a subset from the given n data set. So it is a simply selecting the subset from the given data set. Then we can simply say it is a feature selection. Then feature selection primarily focus on removing non-informative, or we can say irrelative, irrelative, something like that. So what we do in the feature selection, we simply remove the irrelative or non, we can say informative, redundant variables, okay? Or we can say redundant. Redundant means we also discussed today with the help of example. Good morning, Mohit. Then feature selection is the process of selecting the subset. It is very important. Subset. So in the case of feature selection, we mainly selecting the subset, not creating the new features. In the case of feature extraction, there are some features and we are simply creating the new features on the basis of the existing features. That is the case of feature extraction. But in the case of feature selection, we are selecting the subset within the existing feature set. So it is all about the feature selection. We already discussed it. So today we are going to discuss feature. There are some basic concept which we use in the next topic, or we can say upcoming topic. So feature relevancy or feature irrelevancy. What do you mean by that? Let me discuss one example. Suppose you wish to target the value is the weight of the student, for example, average weight of the student. Suppose you having the database like ID, name, and then we can say height, then age, then weight. Suppose it is your data set which contain the following 5 features. That is, the first one is ID, then we can say the name, then we can say height, age and weight. So we wish to find out the average weight of the students. So for that there are so many features, or we can say so many methods. But first of all, we wish to reduce the dimensionality of the data set. How we can reduce? So first of all, you identify the features which are irrelative, or we can say relative or irrelative with respect to the target value. What is our target value? Average weight of all the students. So if you look to this particular features, so for getting the weight value, the important factor is weight is also, it's very important. Age is also matters. When age increase, the weight is also increase at particular time. And we can say when height is increased, no doubt when height is increased, weight is also increased. So these two factors, height, age, or we can say these two features are very important to find out the target value weight. So these two features are relevant feature. Relevant, it means it having the more impact on identifying the feature value. But in the case of we discuss the name and ID, it is not play much more role to identify the weight. So it is not much useful to identify the weight. So we can say these two are irrelative. Irrelative features, it means with the target value, it doesn't affect the value of ID and the name. So the features ID and the name are irrelative, and the features age, height and weight are the relative features with to the target value. Got the point? What do you mean by relative features and what do you mean by irrelative features? Are you understood? Yes or no? Okay, good. So I'm also expecting the reply with the all from the all students. Okay. So it is I take only one line definition and it is the example. Don't worry, we also discuss in the coding form also. Today we simply basic concept we are going to discuss, and in the rest of classes in this week we will finish this including the coding also. Okay. So variable which makes a significant contribution to the prediction task are prediction task, it means identifying the target value, predicting the target value, are said to be a strongly related variable. So in this example, height and age and weight are very important, or strongly we can say contributes to identifying the task target value. Okay. Now the next one is feature redundancy. So you already heard the word feature redundancy. So if the same thing is replicated to the different places, then we can say it is a data redundancy in the case of database management system. In the case of machine learning, we are talking about the redundancy. So redundancy, it means we can say, suppose there are two features which are equally impact to identifying the target value. For example, considering again this example, so age and height, we can say are the proportional to each other. When age is increased, the height is increased. In general cases, we are talking when age is increased, the height is also increased. So we can say age and height are redundant value, because both are playing the equal impact to identifying the average weight of the student in the class. So the we can say the features which are impacting equal to the identifying the target value, that are known as a redundant variables. So here in this example, height and age are the redundant variable. So it is the definition. So features maybe contribute information that is similar to the information contributed by the one or more features. So the contribution to identify the target value of a one features, if it is similar to the another features in the same database, then that features and that features are known as a redundant features. So we also remove the redundant features and we also remove the irrelative features. So by that we can choose the subset of features which are reduced in the size as compared to the original data sets. Okay. And one more thing we are going to discuss, the variable ranking. It is also very important. Ranking, it means I already told you in the previous slides. The ranking, it means we simply assigning the particular score to the variable so that we can say that it is more related to the target value and particular feature is less related to the target value. So let's have a look. So variable ranking is the process of ordering the features by the value of some scoring function. So we use some scoring function, and by that scoring function we compute a particular value, and as base of that value we are order the features, which usually measure features relevancy. Feature relevancy, it means how they are related to the target value and how strongly that particular feature is related to the target value. So there are three important concepts. The first one is, we can say, relativity, irrelativity, then redundancy, and the feature ranking. Okay, I hope you understood this concept. Okay. So the measuring the feature relevancy and redundancy. So we are talking about the ranking. The ranking is nothing but using a function to assigning the value to the features by which we can order the features which are strongly related to the target value. So how we can assign the value? For that we use some method to measure the relativity, or we can say to measure the redundancy. So we discuss now the relativity and redundancy in the case of features. So there are two methods. The one is measuring the features relativity, and another is measuring the features redundancy. So I already discussed what is mean by feature relativity. It means in our previous example, the height and age are related to the target value to identify the average value of the weight, height and age. And feature redundancy, it means in this previous example, height and weight are redundant because they are similar impact to the target value. So first of all, we are going to discuss the measuring the feature relevancy. So feature relevancy, we are going to measure the feature relevancy. We consider the two cases. The one we can say in the case of supervised learning, and another one we can say in the case of unsupervised learning. So it is an example, or we can say measuring the relativity in the case of supervised learning. So what is measuring information is h of c, h of f minus h of c comma f. What do you mean by this? So I just read out for you. So in the case of supervised learning, the mutual information, M is a measuring or mutual information, is considered as a good measure of information contribution of the features contribution of the features to decide the value of class labeled. So in the case of supervised learning, we have the training data set and we also have the class name, class label. So the training data set are we used to train our model. So to measure the relativity, we used mutual information to, we can say, how much related to the target value. And the formula to find out the mutual information is equals to h of mutual information of the class, and then h of f is the features, then minus h of c and f. So where the entropy, the marginal entropy, I hope you know the meaning of mutual information and marginal entropy. I request you, if you don't know about this concept, please read out this concept from the Google. It helps you to better understand this topic. So in the case of supervised learning, mutual information is used to measure the feature relativity. And how we can measure? By using this formula. Then in this formula, h of c, what is it? It is a marginal entropy, and this is a formula for marginal entropy. Similarly, it is a marginal entropy for the features, and it is the formula for calculating the marginal entropy for the features. Now again, when we are talking about the unsupervised learning, it is the case of supervised learning. In the case of supervised learning, to measure the redundancy, to measure the relativity of a features to the target value, we are using the marginal information, MI. How we can calculate? By using this marginal entropy of the class value plus the marginal entropy of the features value minus combined marginal value of class and features value. Okay, we use that. Now the question is how we can calculate the marginal entropy of class and how to calculate the marginal entropy of the features. Okay friends, 1 minute. Okay, now the question is that, now what is the question? Now everything is okay, my video, my audio is okay, please give the thumbs up or yes, so I can understand and everything is okay. Yes, okay. So I am talking about we can say how we can calculate the feature relevancy. So we use a marginal information in the and we use this particular formula to in the case of supervised learning. But in the case of unsupervised learning, we don't have the class marginal entropy, because in the unsupervised learning we don't have the label value, we don't have the class labeled, we don't have that value. So this formula is reduced to the simply the marginal entropy to the features, because in the case of unsupervised learning we don't have the class labels. So K is a number of classes, C is a classes variable. So number of classes is a K, which is used in this particular summation, this particular formula, and C is a class variable, which is named as a labels of a class, and F is a feature set that has taken the discrete value. The labels which are used, the discrete value, are taken as F. And in the case of unsupervised learning, there is no class variable, only entropy features is used. So in the case of unsupervised learning, we don't have the class label, so only this features value is used to calculate the marginal information. So with the help of this formula, we can measure the relativity of the features. So what is the use of it? By finding the relativity of the features with the, we can say, target value, we can identify which features are important and which are not important, and we can drop the variables which are not much relative. So it is a simply becomes like this in the case of unsupervised learning. Okay, so how we can measure? By using the marginal information. So it is the formula for marginal information. What are the SC? Marginal entropy of the features, marginal entropy of the class, or in the case of unsupervised learning, class is not present, So we simply use the marginal entropy of the features. Okay, so got the point? Shall we move to the next slide? Understood? Yes or no? Okay. So next, measuring the feature redundancy. I already told you in the example, in our example, there is a variable name or there is a feature name or the ID and the name. ID and the name not affecting much more to the measuring the target value, and so we can say there are irrelative variables. Okay, but the variables age and the variables height are the very relative variable to the, we can say, calculating the average weight of the students. Okay, and the same we can say in the case of weight and height and age are the redundant variable. Why? Because heights are also calculate the information for the target value is similar to the calculated by the information to the, we can say, age. Okay, so age, when age is increased, weight is also increased. When height is increased, weight is also increased. So age and weight, we can say both are equally in the information generating. So both are redundant. So that variables are simply known as a redundant variables. I hope you understand. Let's read out the theoretical concept. So there are multiple measures of similarities information contribution. The main ones are, what are the ones? There are lots of the way by which we can calculate the feature redundancy. But the mains are, we use the correlation based measure and the distance based measure. I hope you understood the correlativity. Relative and correlative variables I already discussed a little bit about in the we can say singular value decomposition in the feature extraction method. Correlative, relative, irrelative, we also discussed that also in that case. So correlation based measure and distance based measure. What do you mean by that? So the first, we are going to measure the redundancy of a features. There we use a most of two methods. The one is a correlation method based measuring and another is a distance based measuring. So correlation is the measure of linear dependency between the two random variable. Random variable, it means how they are linearly dependent to each other, is measured with the help of correlation based measurement. For example, it is the formula for measuring the correlation of between the two variables. So the pi, we can say sigma, is simply a correlation similarity, is a covariance of variable f1 and variable f2 underscore the variance of a square root of variable f1 and variable f2. It is a formula to find out the we can say correlation based similarity measure. We also use this formula in measuring the distance measuring in the supervised learning, or we can say unsupervised learning. We also use the distance measuring between the two features. How distance are in between the two features? We use a Bhattacharya coefficient, Manatta coefficient and entropy. Lots of method we also use over there. So what is the correlation based similarity measure? We simply measure the correlation between the two variables, and it is a formula to measuring the relativity between the two features. So what is the sigma is equal to variance of variable f1 and f2 and the variance of f1 f2 is square root. Okay, and what is the variance of f1 f2? It is a summation of f1 I minus f1 bar dot f2 I minus f2 bar. So it is a formula for calculating the variance of two variables f1 and f2. And what is the variance of f1? This is the formula. And what is the variance of f2? So it is a way by we can measure the redundancy between the two features. So we use a one feature f1 and another feature is f2, and with the help of this method we can measure the redundancy. So how it's work? Let's see. What they get the score. On the basis of the score, how we can say there are redundant and non-redundant. Let's have a look. So the correlation value range between +1 to -1. So the value of this equation will be +1 to -1. and a correlation value is 1 indicates perfect correlation. Perfect correlation, it means suppose it is a 1, it means if it is a plus 1, that is 1 is increase, another one is also increase, and suppose it is a minus 1, it means 1 is decrease and 1 is increase, then another one is a decrease. Minus, it means inversely proportional, and plus, it means we can say proportional. So if the score is a 1, then that variable f1 and f2 are the, we can say, relative variable. Generally, for all the feature selection problem, a threshold value, it means we set a particular value. After that, if the value is computed, then we can say it is a correlated and non-correlated, something like that. So the threshold value is adopted to decide whether two features have the adequate similarity and not. Okay, so it is a way. The first way is a correlation based measure, by which we take the two random variable f1 and f2 and the measuring the entropy of that, we can say this correlation of that by using this formula. If the value is 1, it means two variable f1 and f2 are correlated, and if the value is apart from that, then we can say are not correlated. And we can also set the threshold value. Threshold value may be a 0.5, 0.8 and something like that, and we decided the particular two variables are correlated and no correlated. On the base of that correlativity, we can say two variables are redundant and non-redundant. Okay, so understood? Are understood this concept, correlation based similarity measure? Yes or no? Okay. Now, the second one is distance based measure. I already just previously I told you Bhattacharya coefficient and entropy and so many things we use the distance measure. In previously we also discussed this topic in the we can say supervised learning and supervised learning methods. Okay. So the most common distance method is the Euclidean distance. Euclidean distance is also a way to calculate the similarities between the two variables, which betweens of two features f1 f2 are calculated as. So it is a formula for the equilibrium distance, and the previous one is the formula for correlation value. Okay, so with the help of this formula, we can easily calculate the distance between the two features, or the measuring the value between the two features, and the same with the particular value. Suppose the value is 1 or something like that, we can say it is a correlated. Apart from that, it is a not correlated. So it is a simpler method to calculating, we can say calculating the similarities and using the correlation value, and calculating the, we can say, distance based method. So with the help of these two methods, we can calculate the redundancy between the two random variable f1 and f2, or the two random features f1 and f2. Okay. Now the feature subset selection, we come to this topic. So till now we discuss what is a feature selection, then we discuss what is the correlativity, then we discuss what is the redundancy, then we discuss the ranking of a features, how we can, what do you mean by the ranking, we score to the features, it is known as a ranking, and then we discuss how we can measure the relativity, and we also discuss how we can measure the redundancy. Now we are going to discuss, and one more thing, redundancy measuring and we can say relativity measuring are used to assigning the ranking to the features. Okay, so assigning the ranking to the features are very important. And then now we are going to discuss how we can select the subset, feature subset selection. It is important. So how we can select the subset, we use it now. So as per our syllabus, we use three methods: filter method, embedded method, and wrapped method that we discuss. So the goal of feature subset selection is to find the optimal features. Optimal feature, it means subset of a features. So feature subset selection methods can be classified into the three basic categories. In which the filtered method, the filtered subset selection, and then we can say wrapped subset selection and embedded subset selection. Both three methods are very important to use or to select the subset from the features. So the first one is the filter method, then wrapped method, and then last one is the embedded method. So these three methods are used to selecting the features. Okay, subset of from the features. So previously we discussed all things are basic or foundation of this particular three methods. how we can use it, let me discuss. So today we discuss some theoretical portion, just how we can do this and what is the use of this, something like that. And upcoming classes we discuss the coding portion of it and the mathematical portion behind it. Okay. So these three methods, it is a simply summarized form. In the filter methods we use proxy measures, and in the case of wrapped method we use predictive models. Predictive model, it means the wrapped value. Wrapped, it means the rounding to around the target value, it is known as a wrapped value. And in the case of embedded method we select the features during the model building. When we are building the model, at that time we are using the feature subset selection, that is known as a embedded method. Embedded method, it means when we are constructing our model we embed the method to subset feature selection. Now let me discuss. The first one is a feature selection. What do you mean by feature selection? How it works? Let's have a look. So in this method, features are filtered based on general characteristics. General characteristics like we already discussed in our example, that name and the ID is not much more effect on calculating the target value average weight. Some metrics such as correlation matrix, we discussed previously what is we can measure the correlation of data sets, such as correlation with the dependent variable. What is the dependent variable and what is the correlation with that? We use some such type of information, and that is used in filtered method, or we can say it is a proxy method. Filter method is performed with any predictive model. We can use any predictive model. We just predict it and we filter the features and we predict our target value, and we hope that the subset is more effective to predict the target value, and the features which are reduced are not lost information. Okay. So it is a faster and usually the better approach when the number of features are huge. The number of features are very huge. So if the features are very large or very in many numbers, then we use we can say filtering. So with the help of filtering, we can easily find out the subset of the features. So avoid the overfitting, but sometimes maybe fail to select the best features. So in the proxy featuring, or in the we can say filtering subset selection of the features, it is very good to selecting the features from the very huge number of features, but it is also overcome the overfitting, but sometimes it is a fail to selecting the best features. Okay. So it is main points of the, we can say, filter method. We also discussed the coding part of it, how we can filter method apply, and how we can selecting the subset of the features from the given data set. Now the next is wrapped method. In the wrapped method, the rounding we can say features to our target value are wrapped and that are selected as a subset. Let's have a look. In the wrap method, the feature selection algorithm exists as a wrapped around to the predictive model. So wrapped around to the predictive model, I already told you. Algorithm and uses some model to select the best features. So it is we can say predictive methods we can say, and we wrap the value which are targeted value are as a selected as a subset. So we again discussed the coding part of it, and some difference between the filter, wrapped and embedded method we also discuss it. Don't worry, I just discussed a single line. What do you mean by it? Okay. In embedded, I already told you. In embedded, when we are developing the model, we embed the method which reduce the set, and we get the optimal features. Okay. So in inbuilt method, the feature selection process is embedded in the learning or model building. So when we are building the model and when the model is learning phase, we simply embedded the feature selection process so that we select the important features and we discard the less important feature or less related features. It is a less computationally expensive than wrapped methods and less prone to the overfitting. So it is expensive as compared to the wrap method. So it is a comparison between all three methods, and maths behind it and coding behind it we discuss in the next class. So filtered method, generic set of methods which do not incorporate specific machine learning algorithm. It is a general method, proxy method. We simply apply any correlation or something like that, and we measure the similarities and select the subset. Evaluate on the specific machine learning algorithm. So WAP method, it is not evaluated on a specific machine learning, but it is evaluated on the specific machine. Find the optimal features. In the case of embedded, it is a fixed features during the model building process. Feature selection is done only observing the each iteration of the model training phase. So it is embedded features. It is a fixed, and at the phase of developing a model, we embed the process of feature subset selection. Filter method, much faster compared to the wrap methods in terms of time complexity. So it takes less time, higher computational time. The time of computation is very higher for a data set within the many features. If the data set contains a huge amount of features, then time taken to selecting the subset features are larger in the case of wrap method. Sits between the filter methods and wrap methods in terms of time complexity. So we can say the time complexity of filter method is less than embedded methods, and is it is less than the wrap method. So the time complexity to finding the subset features are very less in the filtering method and very high in the, we can say, wrap method. Then less prone to overfit, high chances to fitting because it involves a training of machine learning model with a different combination of the features. So it involving the machine learning by combining the different features, so it is having the high chance of overfitting. Generally use the reduce overfitting by penalizing the coefficient of model being too large. So we already in the embedded at the time of, we can say, building the system, so it is a generally use the reduce overfitting. In the last example, what are the example of filtering method? So correlation, then chi-square test, then we can say ANOVA, then information gain, etc. are the filter method. We already discussed information gain also. So it is our method of filtering method. In the wrap method, forward selection, backward elimination, stepwise selection. So forward selection, backward elimination are also example in the wrap method. And what are the embedded methods? Lasso, elastic net, ridge, regression, etc. are the example of embedded method. So are the main methods how we can say finding the subset features from the large amount of set. So feature selection methods. So it is all for today. I hope you understood the concept. In the next class we will discuss the coding part and math behind it, and we will finish this topic hardly in this week. Hardly in this we will finish this unit. Okay. So thank you very much. If you have any question, please ask. Otherwise, thank you very much.